Hey, what's up? It's Andy Fogarty from the At Home Welder, and I'm here for KingMetals.com. And today we're going to go over a cool design that we picked out in the King Metals Design Concepts book. Now, I've already ordered some material, but we picked out a very cool project, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is to use this cool free catalog from start to finish, and we're going to build something really cool. So let's go inside and see what we got. So this is something that I just pulled right out of the King Metals Design Concepts catalog, and this thing is absolutely free. You can see how thick it is. It's got a whole lot of stuff, and I'm just going to turn right to the design I chose, but they have all sorts of stuff here. It's labeled, very cool. So I'm doing like just a little short railing for this demonstration, and this is actually going to go in a garden for stuff to grow up on, but I chose this design. You see it's just pretty. It's got flowers and vines. It'll look great in a garden. But what's so cool about this catalog, as you can see here, they have item numbers. They go to point directly to the piece that's being used here. So you can go right into the King catalog and find these pieces and order them. Or you can go online and just punch them in and order them right from online. They make this so incredibly easy. All right, so let's go ahead and open up this box. I already cut the tape. No, I love getting boxes in from King, especially when it's stuff that I've never used before. So I've never used these components. I just picked the design out of the Design Elements catalog, and we're going to go with it. So you can see they pack everything really nicely. They kind of go overboard sometimes on the packing. Keep everything nice and together. See, look at this. These are beautiful. Oh, yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. It's just, I love the detail that they put into the pieces. I mean, you could just order this just like it is. Saves you, who knows how many hours and hours of time that it would take for you to do this. Not to mention just the skill. I mean, not everybody has the skill to be able to do this or the tools. So you can just order this stuff. All right, so you see we have our bigger pieces of metal here. I guess this is like the structural type stuff, you could consider it. And I just ordered this from King. And because I was doing such a small section, I went ahead and had them cut this in half so it could be shipped via UPS, which saves a lot of money on shipping. Otherwise, I would have had this shipped in like a 20-foot section, and it would have cost a lot more because it'd have to come from a truck. And honestly, if I needed this in a 20-foot piece, I would have ordered this from a local place. But some of this I can't get locally, like the punch channel. I can't get this from my normal structural steel place, which is usually metal supermarkets or places like that. But this is the stuff that I couldn't get there, which would be the punch channel. And this is perfect size for the pickets that we ordered. So the punches here actually match the size pickets that we're going to be putting in there. Very easy. And it's going to fit the dimensions of the pickets that we have, because that's something that you need to pay attention to, is how wide are some of these custom pickets. So you can see, had it all cut, and this is the actual, make a lot of noise here, cap rail that we're going to be putting on top of this. And you can see it's nice and hammered, which is another thing I wouldn't be able to get from just my regular old structural steel supplier. So I went ahead and ordered all this from King. Alright, so I've got all my pickets laid out here because I want to show you something before we get started, and this is something you need to pay attention to when you're actually ordering your pieces, and that is the length of your pickets. Now, when you're getting these custom forged pickets like this, the main thing you want to be careful of is the length of the pickets, because they're not always the same length when you're ordering them. These pickets are 45 inches long. Now that's pretty long for a standard railing, right? Well, they do that because if you're going to be using these for down rails, they don't know what the angle is that you're going to be using, and obviously the bigger the angle, the longer the piece that you're going to need. But what I want to show you is they give you that 45 inches by making one side is always a little bit longer than the other. So you can see I've got my two squiggles here, but you'll notice is the squiggles, it's not centered in the middle of the picket. You actually have more distance on this end than you do on this end, and that's going to be the case with every single picket. So that way they give you enough room to be able to cut the excess off and actually still have the design centered in the middle of the railing. my punch channel to the small little section I need. And I also laid out my pickets in the design so I know that everything is going to line up correctly and I have enough pickets. So I'm going to go ahead and put my punch channel on my table here, line it up against all my straight edges, clamp it down, and we'll start putting this together. So this was literally the hardest part of this whole process, was just lining everything up, getting all of the pickets in the holes, because some of these, we've had to raise the whole thing up just a little bit, because this vine detail here, it actually wraps all the way around this straight bar here. So it kind of lifts everything up. That's the hardest part really of this whole project. Everything else is pretty straightforward, just like you would be building a normal railing. Now that I've got everything, I know everything is lined up, I'm going to straighten some of these things up just a little bit before I start welding them up. And then all we got to do is just start welding. Alright, so I've welded all the pickets in place now, so everything is good and sturdy, and I've removed the clamps. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to put our end posts on, easy peasy, and then I'm going to add this cap rail to the top. And it's very easy because this top is flat and the cap rail that I'm using is flat as well. So I've got some 2-inch posts here that we're going to concrete into the ground outside. And I've just got some nice end caps, and I'm going to put those caps on there. I like to weld my caps on first before I put the posts on. I don't know why, it doesn't really matter, but that's just how I do it. So I'm going to weld these on there, and then I'm also going to weld the posts to the channel. Okay, I've stood the whole section up, and that's because I'm going to put the cap rail on right now. And the reason I've done that is because the cap rail, you can see, doesn't quite fit. It's a little bit smaller than that punch channel that we've got going on. But what I've done is I've just centered it in the middle and clamped it down. So I'll clamp this off, and I'm going to go ahead and weld right in here and seal all this up. And I'll run a couple tacks here or there down the railing to keep it from popping up. So this is it, this is the finished product. I want to put it in front of this white background so you can see how cool it is. Let's see, this is going to look really, really nice in the lady's backyard with some vines growing up on it. It's going to look really, really beautiful. But this is a railing design, and I just shortened it to make it a little panel for her. But you can see how beautiful this would be as a nice flowing railing in somebody's house or on somebody's porch or deck or whatever. So this came right out of the design concept catalog. I didn't even have to think about it. I had all of the item numbers for each one of these components in the catalog, pointed right to it. Very simple. I just ordered it, opened the boxes, did a few cuts, and just welded it together. So that's it for this episode. I hope you found it very helpful and useful and cool. We're going to start picking out some new designs out of the new upcoming Design Concepts catalog and just start putting them together so you can see how easy these come together. And we're going to do some cool little custom modifications so you can see how you can modify these to fit other purposes very inexpensively and very easy. So that's it. Now listen, if you want to know which concept design this was in the book, it's actually U37637. All these designs are numbered so they're easy for you to follow up on. But check it out in the Design Concepts catalog. If you don't have one, call or go on the website at kingmetals.com and tell them you want a catalog. They're going to send you this one, and they'll send you a parts catalog completely free. Huge resource you've got to have if you're into ornamental welding or just welding at all. So I'm Andy Fogarty for theathomewelder.com and kingmetals.com, and I'm looking forward to showing you more design concepts just like this one in the future. And hey, if you want more great tips and tricks like this, come on over to theathomewelder.com, sign up for MIG Welding 101. Even if you know how to weld, it'll put you on our insider list that's going to send you weekly tips and tricks on how to do cool stuff like this and make some money on the side with this cool thing we call welding. So I will see you again next time. Bye.